The energy's kind of strange today. So on the way to work, the song "Fly Away" by Lenny Kravitz came on. I wish that I could fly so very high, just like a dragonfly. And then I saw a dragonfly crossing my windshield on a highway, no less. Immediately, right then. And on somebody's license plate, when I was about to pull into work, there was a heron poking out of some reeds. And I heard it again. The dimensions are connected through spaces. And by aligning with the location, you can align more easily with the energy. I don't know who needs to hear that or why it's relevant, but the dimensions are connected through spaces. You want to hop, be where you want to be. Be close to where you want to be. Make it a physical location, a physical manifestation. Have a picture of it in your room, you know, something. Maybe I should put... I'll expand that thought later. But get a physical representation of the actual location you are trying to be in that aligns with the energy. If you know that your dream life is in a particular space, keep a representation. What else, Spirit? What else do you want to talk about? The heron? Because immediately I thought about that dream again with the tree full of herons, the network of herons. And I saw orcas in a video yesterday, like wild orcas, coming to play with somebody on a surfboard just to say hello and investigate. And I thought that was cool. But in this dream I had, the spiritualists are showing up as herons, not as orcas. Normally, they would show up as orcas. Maybe that's indicative of two separate sects, two separate groups here. There's herons, and then there's orcas, and then there's... Group number 3. The asleep. The negative. The... I said what I said. The asleep and the negative. You know, I had somebody tag me in a video this morning that was all about, like, she stitched a post from some other reader, and the reader that was being stitched was like, I would never get a reading from a man, blah, blah, blah. And it was just bigotry, you know? It was just straight up sexism. And maybe the males are underrepresented in the tarot community, but there's a lot of us. And we're not even all gay. There's straight men here too. But the idea that somebody could be a bad reader or an incorrect reader because of their gender, it's asinine, it's foolish. That is an example of a spiritualist who is still asleep with a negative heart, a heavy heart. Not even sad, just dense. Maybe that's what Spirit wants to address right now. You can't carry that around and be an abundant energy. You need an open heart, a light heart, a happy heart in order to harness your gifts and your abundance. And I want to say thank you to that person for defending male readers. She tagged 3 of us in the comments of that video. It's like, hey, these people are awesome. I really appreciated that, you know? Because there's a lot of man haters out there, you know what I mean? And everybody's got an experience in their past that led to them feeling the way they do about a situation. And this lines up, I think, with somebody else recently that I commented on. You have to understand why you feel the way you feel in order to get to the root of that judgment. If you feel unsafe or feel hatred for a specific group of people, you have to understand why that is. And I talked to one girl there was one girl that I spoke to years ago. She only went by Stormy. It was back in like the chat room days. She went by Stormy. And she didn't like men because she had been essayed by a large group of men. And she brought race into it also, because whatever demographic they were, she felt extra threatened by. And without blaming the victim, you have to understand that those wounds have to be healed. Those judgments can't hold up to everybody. No matter what you've been through, no matter who you are, no matter who they were, your judgment will not apply to everybody in that group of people. And even if there is a minority, then the judgment does not stand. Even if there is a minority that buck that stereotype, then the judgment does not stand. You can't thank everyone. You have to learn the individual. And while it's normal to feel the feelings of discomfort in situations that trigger you, you have to do the work there and understand your own mind. It's not even that you have to get over the trigger. It's that you need to look past the trigger and see the individual. That person that made that video saying that like she would never ever trust a male tarot reader has a misunderstanding of spirit communication. She doesn't understand that it's a language, that your spirit team will give you synchronicities, that will give you patterns, will give you specific pulls that you will interpret the way that you interpret in order to provide you a specific message. It's communication developed through practice and time, and there is no wrong answers to what you intuitively gather. But I bet you anything that she's one of those people that, have you seen the videos recently about that therapist that fell in love with her, no, she's a tarot reader or something like that, a life coach, that fell in love with her therapist and blah, 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 Kendra, I think it is. And she had this whole dramatic thing. I didn't really look into it that hard. I just looked a little bit. But I recently saw videos saying that, like, she pulled the tower 5 times and misinterpreted it and misread it, and then it's happening for her. And, like, however she interpreted that card is between her and her spirit team. And as an observer, things can look all sorts of ways when they aren't. Because maybe she did go through a tower. Maybe she went through several. But at the end of the day, it's leading to growth. High Priestess. And that's what we should be focused on, right? The fact that she's using the tools, she's learning the tools, she's trying to grow from the tools. And, you know, sometimes that does come with some self-denial. I've seen it. Lots of people have seen it here, where people don't like the answer that they get, and they're like, well, that can't mean that. That's going to mean something totally different. That's not for me. And maybe it is. The more uncomfortable you feel about the fact that it's for you, the more you should pay attention, to be honest. But the idea that somebody can misinterpret a card, it's not a Wands energy. Karmic. People that want to misunderstand someone else will usually find themselves misunderstood. Maybe not immediately, but I'm hearing that video I made about the cardinal the other day in the yard. The song title was "What Goes Around Is Nasty." And it was a mashup title because it's what goes around, goes around, goes around, gonna come back around. And Nasty was the song that was mashed up with. So what goes around is nasty. It's giving karma's a bitch, man. But you know what? Everything that happens is for you, not to you. So let's not stand in judgment of each other. Judgment on the split there. Together we rise, you know. and every tower is a breakthrough. Love you guys. Have a good day.